that shared the same goals. Everybody was trying to get somewhere, or everybody had a different idea about how.
That have similar objectives. Everyone was either attempting to get somewhere or held differing opinions about how things were going. Though it seems like Jackson is keeping his distance from the Family Feud star for a reason. He recently confronted the late comedian and TV host for daring to compare himself to the late Bernie Mac. A new feud is brewing in Tinseltown as a result. I firmly believe that you should only take actions that are in your best interests. After all, when you think of Bernie Mac and Steve Harvey together, you automatically picture their renowned original kings of comedy. It's a widely held belief that Harvey and Mac were close because they rose to the same industry ranks together. But what many people don't know is that Harvey and Samuel L. Jackson were already good friends before Harvey went public with Mac. In fact, Jackson frequently said that Bernie was his inspiration in life and that he only had happy memories of his late friend. When I moved to Chicago and worked as a negotiator, Bernie took care of me. So when Steve allegedly began babbling about how he and Mac were the star of Avengers, we're going to find out what that means. It seems that Steve Harvey hasn't exactly won the popularity contest among his fellow celebrities, despite his charming TV image. People in the industry have been pretty quiet about their dislike for him, especially when it comes to his talk about being the legitimate king of comedy. Jackson isn't just miffed about the comparison. He's hinting at some skeletons in Steve Harvey's closet that only the elites are privy to. Samuel L. Jackson believes that Steve Harvey lacks the necessary skills and is only a pale shadow of Bernie's stand-up routine. For this reason, Jackson appears to have a beef with Steve Harvey. It seems that Steve Harvey's comparison of his own life to Bernie's upset Jackson. However, there have been rumors that Jackson and Harvey get along well, especially after photos of their shared vacation together appeared online. In case you missed them, the photos showed Steve Harvey and his wife hanging out at a posh location in Europe. As Jackson revealed after meeting Harvey, it wasn't a plan. He and his wife were traveling to their vacation spot when they just so happened to bump into the celebrity host. Jackson's wife's facial expressions while discussing it made it clear that he wanted the world to know this was a complete accident, but we run into each other out there, but now we get on the boat with Magic and Cookie. Samuel L. Jackson enjoys taking opulent European vacations, and every summer he explores a new destination with his family. Steve and Marie have their own boat. Apparently Jackson is tired of Steve's nosy nature, and nothing makes him believe that the two of them could ever become good friends, knowing how close Jackson and Mac were. It's easy to understand why Jackson might have had an issue with Harvey, especially when the Family Feud host begins to compare their lives. If you remember, Bernie and Steve even found themselves in the middle of beef after the accusations of Steve trying to sabotage his role of Frank Catton on Ocean's 11 back. Then Steve Harvey didn't attempt to address any claims of being an ugly thief and a traitor because he was apparently ashamed of being caught later. Another king of comedy, D.L. Huggle, expressed his opinion on the whole story, and it didn't seem to portray Steve in a good light, as well was disappointed. But I understood that those kind of things happened. Sadly, Bernie MC passed away on August 9th, 2008 from complications from pneumonia due to suffering from sarcoidosis, and that for the moment for Steve to make peace with him and address the sabotage rumors for the first time ever as a comedian said, "I was upset at first because it just wasn't true. Me and Bernie had a lot of good times together." And then this article in G came out and put all this vicious stuff in there. He said he never said. I had to take him at his word for it. Well, no wonder Jackson considers this man a vile snake and states that he's nothing compared to legendary Bernie. And you know what's the worst in a story, guys? People on social media have a lot to say about Steve Harvey pretending to be grieving after Bernie Mac passed away. Well, he claims to carry on the legacy of the late Bernie Mac it's important to examine Steve Harvey's image. Steve Harvey can be nominated for an Oscar for his performance because no one bought his fake tears. He will be forever known as the man who wanted to sabotage his friend and colleague, in addition to Samuel L. Jackson. Ain't just let me be me, so I knew. But Bernie got a lot of parts. Steve Harvey is a well-known comedian and lovely TV host. However, there have been allegations and issues around him that present a different picture in guise. It's evident he's nothing like Bernie. The way that Bernie Mac and Steve Harvey lived their life is one of the most obvious differences between them. Bernie Mac was well known for his sincerity and commitment to making people laugh. Steve's personal life appears to deviate significantly from his public persona. To start, he has been through 3 messy and dramatic marriages. You only need to listen to what his ex-wife, Mary, has to say about him to understand that, while he may be funny on stage, his nasty attitude at home has been draining her soul. Mary once said, "Steve took everything from me." This difficult divorce cast a lengthy shadow on his reputation, and allegations regarding his previous marriages and his treatment of his former wife and children have surfaced, further complicating matters. "I was evicted from our home. He turned my son against me, and he stole my wealth." His presence, he was able to control the entire scenario to his advantage. But the histories of Harvey and Bernie Mac are also replete with dark turns and issues, because, as you may know, they were both members of the original Kings of Comedy. D.L. Huggle and Cedric the Entertainer, 2 other comedians, and I had a very successful stand-up comedy tour and film together. Although it helped all 4 of us reach new heights in our careers, the rumors of growing tension between Mac and Harvey seemed to become the biggest issue for them all. It's been said that Steve and Bernie didn't really get along, and the relationship between all the participants in the comedy tour turned unhealthy towards the end, with everyone going their own way. I was making enough money to really establish myself and appear on television. Steve and Bernie's fellow comedians also shared their vision of this feud, and at first it looked like the comedian just chose different paths in life. Cedric the Entertainer even tried to be diplomatic by saying yeah. I mean, they were the kind of guys that they both alpha males, like they just saw it different, you know what I'm saying. But at the end of the day, they was able to get through it. It seems like he didn't want the ugly story about Steve's treacherous nature to surface in the end. It was some plea of silence, and the 3 comedians never shared any details of the beef between Bernie and Steve. Only Bernie was adamant to expose Harvey. And in 2003, he shocked the world with his tell-all interview to Jai magazine, where he claimed that Harvey was jealous of his rise to stardom and even tried to sabotage certain movie roles that he was obtaining at the time Steve was doing. Bernie was like, no, he's like, well, you ain't going to have nothing left, Now D.L. Huggle was forced to confront the rumors and stated that Bernie McCollum left the program because of Steve Harvey's repulsive and predatory behavior. It seems like Steve Harvey can't stop until the comedy world kisses his feet. But he encounters a lot of backlash for these crazy claims and comparisons. Now I have $1 million question for you guys. Do you think that Steve's claims about are true, and is he truly as funny as the Burning Mac? One user commented that Bernie Mac was the best. Steve has never been that funny. He should stick to game shows. Another user added that Bernie is the funniest man when alive, worked to demise by Hollyweird a legend hurry. Please share your opinions in the space provided below, and don't forget to watch my other videos.